Welcome to the BayRef Refrigerant Support Hub, which has been introduced to help customers navigate the ongoing changes in refrigerants, so you can make the best choices on behalf of your customers. We're creating a series of short videos that aim to cover the topics relevant to all things refrigerant, which you'll be able to find on our YouTube channel and also kind of LinkedIn and other social platforms. So for this Q&A, we're discussing refrigerants in more detail with Simon Ravenscroft from National Refrigerants. Welcome, Simon.
Thank you, Alec.
And thank you for your time. Hopefully you can impart some wisdom on us collectively with what's going on in the refrigerants kind of market at the moment. So my first question,
yes.
And the first topic is really the refrigerant landscape and what is the current UK legislation on FGAS and what's it looking likely to be moving forward?
Well, currently, as you know, Alec, the whole of the UK and Europe have been under a quoting system since 2015.
Yeah.
Currently, the UK sits at 31% of that baseline.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the Brexit, we now have a GB quota and the Europeans have a European FGAS quota.
Yeah.
And a couple of years ago, the Europeans actually advanced their quota cuts.
Okay.
So we currently sit at 31% and Europe are now down to 24%.
So effectively, the European Union has been more aggressive in trying to phase out those higher GWP refrigerants.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. So the planned cut for next year was to drop from the 31% to the 24%, which is the Europeans have already skipped towards.
Yeah.
In Europe, next year, their planned cut is to drop that down to 13%.
Okay, so they're going kind of half again,
so
effectively.
they've got a genuine 50% cut next year.
Yeah.
So our original plan cut was to drop to the 24%, but that is currently being reviewed.
Okay.
Because we're so far out of kilter with the Europeans now, the whole thing's being revised.
Yeah.
And they're currently revising the quota cut. Now, instead of the 24%, the one that they're aiming for is to drop that to 16%.
So that's still slightly higher than where Europe will be at the same kind of moment in time, but
effectively it's a 50% quota cut for us.
Right. Okay. And what does that mean in real terms, Simon? So we talked about quota.
Yeah.
Effectively, that is a 50% cut in the available kind of product that we can utilise on the market.
So it's important to understand that the quota is actually not a physical kilo-based quota. Mm-hmm. It's based on the CO2 equivalent of the refrigerant, so it's GWP. So the higher the refrigerant's GWP, the more quota it consumes. Okay. So this whole thing has been tailored to actually force people to start using lower GWP refrigerants.
Yeah.
So when they bring in a potential 50% quota cut, that means the availability to the market is being drastically cut. Mm-hmm. And unless people do change to these lower GWP products, the availability is just going to get tighter and tighter and tighter.
Okay. And already kind of this year, we've seen consistent price rises on refrigerants. Yeah. And what's changed in the market? So we talked about the GB quota is under review. Yeah. But what's kind of driving those price increases already?
So with the proposed 50% cut next year, the manufacturers that we purchase from have got to, they've got to consider it's going to be a 50% cut. Mm-hmm. Worst case scenario. At best, it might be less, it might be a 30% cut. Okay. But they're planning for a 50% quota cut. Mm-hmm. So for them, they've got tough decisions to make as to which refrigerants they manufacture and make available next year. Okay. Also, to support a big cut next year, they're trying to restrict as much product into the market this year so that they have more availability next year. So in doing that, that's forcing the prices up. Yeah. If you looked at it as a simple mathematical equation, if there's a 50% cut in the quota next year, the manufacturers want to make the same money they've been making, so that means the price of the refrigerants have to double. Okay. So refrigerants can't double in price in one go, which is why you'll see steady increases throughout the year now.
Right, and you see that kind of price increase and that volatility going all the way through the year as we get closer and closer towards 2023. Okay, and what are the timescales do you think for the legislation kind of changes? So obviously GB's been in consultation
Yeah.
with the market. When do we think we'll get a natural outcome?
Ideally, we want the outcome before Parliament breaks for the summer.
Okay.
Because if we don't have an answer by then, we won't get anything till September.
Right.
And obviously the legislation will be introduced on the 1st of January next year.
Okay.
So
Yeah, time's ticking.
absolutely. The true answer is we just don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Well, thank you, Simon. Thank you for that.